We're going to get to this crazy, crazy statement from Governor Kathy Hochul. So, Jesus, Kathy Hochul made a statement. And a lot of people are calling her out on this one. Now, she has issued an apology, but I don't buy it. I just think that this is who Kathy Hochul really is. I think this is exactly what came out of her mouth, as some may call it word vomit. I think that's exactly what Kathy Hochul, thinks. So let's go into this clip here. So at the 2024 Global Conference, Kathy Hochul made a statement about Black kids in the Bronx. And this is just why, like, I was just like, oh my God, like, how tone deaf can you be? Now, before you see her statement, I want you to notice over here in the right corner, you'll see there's an interpreter. Notice the interpreter is Black. Listen to this.
To follow, because right now we have, young Black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges. To follow, because right now we have, young Black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is.
So apparently, according to Governor Hochul, young Black kids in the Bronx don't know what the word computer is. I'm willing to bet, Governor Hochul, I'm willing to bet those kids in the Bronx can probably run circles around you in reference to technology. I'm pretty sure there are technological tools that they know how to use that you probably don't know how to use. The younger kids are usually hip to these things before the older people are. It's just the reality. What are you talking about? The same young kids that are on social media? What do you think? A smartphone is basically a small computer. The young kids who play people video games online, that are playing Final Fantasy online with other people, and they're on Discord and stuff at the same time, they don't know what a computer is. Let's talk about it, folks. The young kids on Snapchat, the young kids on TikTok, they don't know what a computer is. You see, this is what Kathy Hochul really believes. This is what she thinks about those kids. This is not just a racial issue. This is a class issue. This is classism from Governor Hochul. Because, see, this is how people, like, you get into certain, class bubbles. This is how they think about people that are not a part of their class in general. She would probably say the same thing about white kids in the trailer park in Kentucky. This is what she believes. They're not educated enough to know what the word computer is or what a computer is. See how they look down on people that are not a part of the same social or elite bubble as them? Now, she's not going to live that one down. Now, she did apologize. She did apologize because so many people came after her. And I'm talking about politicians came after the statement that she made. And I want people to realize it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat. Everybody's seeing this now with Kathy Hochul, who's a Democrat. So it's easy to point to conservatives and say, this is what they think about Black people. This is what white conservatives think about Black people. How many people are pointing at white liberals who think the same way? And those of us who live in these liberal enclaves or progressive enclaves, we're used to this. We've seen white liberals have this same type of behavior. This is why I've said before, I said, no, don't get it twisted. Don't think that the liberals are just, accepting of everything. They have some of these same type of opinions and views as Kathy Hochul does. So it goes on to say, New York governor slammed for saying Black children don't know what computers are. And I want to tell you her statement here. Oh my God. Ms. Hochul later said that she misspoke and regrets it. She was at the Milken Institute Global Conference on Monday to discuss New York's artificial intelligence initiative. She goes on to say here, where are we? Hold on. Ms. Hochul released a statement to media later on Monday amid criticism of her comments, saying she misspoke and regret it. So she said, I misspoke and I regret it. Of course, Black children in the Bronx know what computers are. The problem is that they too often lack access to technology needed to get on track to high paying jobs and in emerging industries like AI. Yeah, but you know where that comes from? Lack of access. That means that you're at an underfunded, under-resourced school. You know why those schools are underfunded and under-resourced? Because the public schools are paid for by property taxes. So maybe Governor Hochul, if you were pushing towards some type of education, I don't want to say reform, I want to say overhaul. Education overhaul where the federal government can pay for those schools, then all those schools would be funded, equally. There wouldn't be this issue. If you were a military kid like I was and you went to Dodge schools, you know that the federal government funded those schools. That's why we didn't really have to pay for anything. And those schools were great schools. So the same way the federal government can pay for the Dodge schools, that's the same way that the federal government can pay for public schools in this country. You shouldn't have to be a part of the military industrial complex for your kids to be able to receive a decent education. You shouldn't have to be a millionaire for your kids to receive a decent education. You shouldn't have to live in a certain zip code for your kids to receive a decent education. And let's say it again. That is punishing people based on their income. That is punishing kids for being poor. That is punishing kids for coming from a working class family. And that is wrong. And more people need to speak out about that. Now, that being said, kiss ass Mayor Adams is defending Kathy Hochul. Mr. Cop himself is defending Kathy Hochul. Well, he's a whole sellout, right? I don't know why people in New York voted for this guy. If you live in New York and you voted for him, please explain why. Please explain why. I won't bite your head off, I promise. Just please explain why. Mayor Adams gives Governor Hochul a pass on remarks about the Bronx Black kids not knowing what computer is. So you see how the Black faces in high places, not all of them, but some of the Black faces in high places. You see how when Black people are insulted, when these types of remarks are said about Black people, you see how they can just give white people a pass. Let me ask you a question. Did those kids, the Black kids in the Bronx, did they get a pass from the NYPD? Mayor Adams, who was a cop? Mayor Adams was NYPD. Mayor Adams, did you give those Black kids, particularly, let's say during stop and frisk, did you give them a pass? No. He goes on to say here, boy, I tell you, we got a lot of sellouts, man. We got a lot of sellouts. Here he goes. When you make thousands of speeches, when you're in front of the cameras all the time, when you're trying to be authentic and say the things that you're really feeling, one can sit back and do a critical analysis of every sentence that you say. I know her heart. I know what she was intending to say. And she was not trying to be disrespectful to people of the Bronx. You know her heart? You know her that intimately? See how a lot of the people that are Black faces in high places, you see how they run cover for when white people in high places make these types of remarks or exhibit this type of behavior. You see how they come to run cover for them? That's plantation thinking. That's really what that, if you think about it, that is plantation thinking. He goes on to say here, it goes on to say here, a day earlier when Hochul said we have young Black kids growing up in the Bronx, they know these things are, yada, yada. It goes on to say that, again, she misspoke, and the representatives that spoke out against it, Assemblywoman Amanda Septimo, also from the Bronx, described them as harmful, deeply misinformed, and genuinely appalling. That was in reference to Kathy Hochul's statement. Repeating harmful stereotypes about one of the most underserved communities while failing to acknowledge the state's consistent institutional neglect only perpetuates systems of abuse. I would invite Governor Hochul to visit us in the Bronx to experience firsthand the intelligence, resilience, and joy that radiate from Bronx children and residents each day. Yeah, because when you make that type of statement, you know, instead of putting the blame on the educational institution and how the Bronx has been neglected, you're making those kids sound like they're the problem. But the kids actually had some things to say to Governor Hochul. I think you would like to see that. Some of those kids were interviewed. Let's hear what Black kids in the Bronx gotta say. Shout out to Lou Valentino for this clip here.
Basically, I'm trying to say, stop downplaying the Black community for clout, bro. It's not right. It's not good, bro. We smart.
At all.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
not good at
We
all.
Smart. We know we good. The future is bright, bro. Trust us.
All right, guys. So earlier today, I saw a video where Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, came out and said that kids growing up in the Bronx, specifically Black kids, don't know what a computer is.
Young Black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things.
So today, we're going to go around the Bronx asking Black kids and kids in general, do they know what a computer is? What's a computer?
It's like you can use it, you know, go on the internet, search stuff up, you know, benefit yourself, you know.
So you obviously know what a computer is as well.
I know what a computer is. A computer is a device that you can use to search up whatever you want, websites, movies, whatever you want, man. Like,
So why would the governor of New York say that Black kids growing up today wouldn't know what a computer is?
It only don't make sense. Like, I think all our Black kids, like, we're really smart. Like, we're just as smart as all the white kids. Like,
So you're saying that she's stereotyping and she's projecting.
she's stereotyping. She's putting us in a place where, like, we aren't. Like, we're not dumb. We're really smart.
we're smart. Like, we all have to, like, think about it from our view. She can't speak for us.
Exactly. Let us speak for ourselves.
Let the
like,
troubled people speak for their own troubles. Am I right? I had a computer since I was young. I built my own computer, like, at the start of the year.
it just doesn't make any sense. You're saying all these things about a community that you're supposed to be representing, and yet you're doing nothing to help them.
About Black children not knowing what a computer is nowadays is honestly so stupid, because schools, NYC schools, they offer laptops and Chromebooks to students that they use in school. There is technology in New York. 2024, like, everybody, like, there is technology. Is what
So did you hear what he just said? That they have the laptops at the schools in New York City. They offer it to the students. So that goes to show you guys that Kathy Hochul has not spent time in the Bronx.
I'm saying. I've never met somebody that's, like, not used a computer before, or that doesn't know what a computer is. It's really not a good statement to make in 2024. It's a really dumb statement.
Do you know what a computer is?
Yeah, I know what a computer is. Everybody I know has a computer. And yeah, everybody I know has a computer.
Why would you think she would say that? Like, did she think that Black...
They trying to downplay the community, like
Downplay the Bronx, like if we broke or something,
like
if we just straight in hood mentality, like if we don't have education, and
like you all know what a computer is. We all know. We all use one. We all have one at one point. We got them in school. We all have access to a computer. We all know how to work a computer. So it's like you saying stuff that's ignorant. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
On top of that, also phones, like different stuff like that, like Apple Watch, all that. Those are all different type of computers and all that. So like if you have a phone, you have a computer. Like it's just like internet in general.
Basically, I'm trying to say, stop downplaying the Black community for clout, bro. It's not right. It's not good, bro. We smart.
At all.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
not good at all.
Smart. We know we good. The future is bright, bro. Trust us, bro. Like, y'all trying to downplay the community for no reason, but we good over here. We know what laptops is and everything. We straight.
Professor Fernandez teaches at Boston University. Went to a math and science school in the Bronx. You have to test into it. Professor Fernandez grew up in the Bronx, Kathy Hochul. He was very smart as a kid. Hence why he was sent to the math and science school in the Bronx. And then became a professor at Boston University. Check yourself.